Hi sweets! How you guys doing today? So this is my Cuba vlog. And you notice I'm sitting here like I'm doing a regular ass tutorial. And it's supposed to be a vlog, but we had some technical difficulties. And I have all the footage from Cuba, but you cannot hear a sound. So, in my mind, I change this to a story time. That time I went to Cuba. So, let me tell you the story about my Cuba trip because Cuba was amazing. So let's get into it. Let's set the scene. We just stepped off the flight. And for my Jamaican babies, you know when Air Jamaica was a thing and there wasn't the tunnel to take you into the airport? Like you literally took the steps down the plane to get into the airport? Legit, that is the scene. So the airport, the airplane, the airport's here, the steps, and you legit walk off the plane out into the hot Cuba sun, because Cuba hot, and you walk into the airport. So you walk inside and the airport is honestly not what you imagine. Or for me, it wasn't what I imagined. It wasn't like modern, it wasn't like a JFK airport, but it was a lot more modern than I thought it would have been. So we leave the airport, so we come outside, we meet the lady that we booked the Airbnb with, and we go outside to our driver, and we rented a car for the entire trip, and we rented a 1957 Chevy, a red one. Oh my god, when I said the car was gorgeous, the car was gorgeous. Like it was in pristine condition. So all 7 of us pack up in this 1957 Chevy, and Mama says 7, that includes the driver, and the trunk could not hold all of our luggage, so we had like us squished into the back and luggage on top of us. But the drive to the place is amazing. Like there's like a strip and all you see is just water. It's just so gorgeous. Like when we see the sun rise over that, oh, or the sun set, oh. So we drive to the house now, or we pull up to the house, and the houses there aren't fancy because we stayed in Airbnb, we didn't stay in a hotel. So we stayed at Kaya Merced. So we pull up to Kaya Merced and we see the house and we're like, ooh. And my stepmom booked the place and she was just like, oh god, we're gonna stay in a shithole and everybody's gonna hate me. But the outside of the building, there's no upkeep. It needs to paint, but the building have so much character still. So anyways, we have to walk up the stairs to get there. I'm walking up the stairs and there's like these beautiful, like not ancient, like, you know, antique tiles on the wall, but some of them are like broken because they're not properly kept. So they're like broken, but they're so beautiful. And we walk up to these giant blue doors and we're like, all right, the outside of the building, ooh, all right, we can live with that. The stairway, all right, it got a little charm. Let's hope it only gets better from here. So we open up into our apartment and it's like there's no Cuba in the apartment. Like it literally looks like your house in Kingston or your house wherever you live. It looks like your house. Right here, you see the doors open. This one is a coconut, so we can just work up outside and get coconuts. Look at this taxi. So when we get to the house, we put down our stuff, we get acquainted with the host, and we're like, yo, let's go, let's explore Cuba. We're ready. Estamos listos. So we leave and we walk to Plaza Vieja. Or is it Viaje? Guys, I'm not sure. My Spanish not too, you know? So we got to the old plaza. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Old plaza. And it's just a bunch of buildings with just like so much charm. There's a lot of architectural details on the building that were just so amazing. Even the houses that people lived in, like there was so much architectural detail on it. It just every building told that story. It was just gorgeous. So we go there and we go to a bar called Old Havana. No, Havana Club. So we go to the bar called Havana Club, and we sit there and we had like these $2 mojitos, and it's just like a fresh sprig of lime. It was so pure. We're in there and then the band starts to play, and then the band is playing and when I was reading like different stuff online, it said that the food wasn't great, don't expect much, and I was just like, well damn, that ain't fun for me. So anyways, we go and we literally had breakfast at the same place 4 days out of the 6 days that we were there. Like the place was called El Cafe, and they sold just like basic food. They sold like eggs, ham, bacon, toast, and then they had these pancakes, but it wasn't like regular pancakes that you make. It wasn't like buttermilk pancakes. They were like thick, but they were still light, and they don't give you syrup, they give you honey. And I hate honey, but trust me, the honey on that pancake with them fresh fruits, oh my god, it was delicious. The food there, the breakfast place was nice. They had like different sandwich options. They had like really good bread. Like the breakfast place was amazing. So after we went to breakfast, we went to this place called La Chantelia. I think that's what it's called. And like in Cuba, it's either you sell breakfast and lunch, dinner. Like you don't open for the full day. Like that's not an option. So most of the places I went to, like, we'll be like, yo, what time that place close again? Alright, so we can't go there. So we got to La Chantelia, and we literally, it opens at 1, and we stood in the line from about 11:30 to get in. And I mean, we were there for maybe like 2 hours, and there was a line for the full 2 hours that we were there to get in. The food there was great, but before we get to the food, let's talk about the servers, because I feel like to work at La Chantelia, the only qualifying term was that you were muy guapo. Like, these servers were handsome. I mean, like, from the bartender to the guy that took your order, to the guy that brought out the food, to the guy that was mopping the food. Oh my goodness. Hello. You don't want to make me your wife? Hello. Look at me with all this wife material. Yeah, let's go. They were so handsome, and we had literally the best pina colada there. Like, we had that maybe on the second day, and every day thereafter we're like, the pina colada La Chantelia was better. Like, and I don't, maybe it was just better because the guy that made it was so handsome. Like, I told him, I was like, muy guapo, and he legit turned red, and I was just like, you like me, yeah, papi, let's go back to Jamaica, yeah. He was, they were amazing. So the people, literally the nicest set of people I've ever met. Like, people always say Jamaican people are nice. Cuban people are different level nice. Like, you'll just randomly be walking on the road and people talk to you. I mean, like, they come up to you, they're like, they'll ask you if you speak English and if you speak Spanish. And my stepmother is full Cuban, like, she's American born Cuban, and so whenever we were walking with them, that we had active dialogue with the persons, and it was amazing. Like, we met this random man, like, we're walking, and obviously we were talking in English, and he goes, Americanos? And we're like, yeah, see, Jamaica. He's like, oh my god, da, 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 da. And we're talking to him, and then he invites us into his house. We meet his entire family, his 2 sons, which were all drunk and in love with me, by the way. We meet his sister, we meet his wife. He literally gave us a tour of his house, and he literally said, we're poor, but we're happy. He's like, we don't have much, but we're happy. And I mean, when you went into the place, it genuinely wasn't anything. Like, it was a basic structure with just like maybe a couch. Like, it wasn't anything developed. And he was just so proud of his house, and he just wanted to talk to us. He was sharing so much information with us. Like, the people there are so nice. And granted, you have the people in where you walk past and you're like, oh, they go, Like, in the mind, you could tell they were saying, puta. But, like, you had those people, but they weren't the majority. A lot of the people, like, if you walk past, you said hola, they'd say hola, like, they talk to you. The people are so nice. But what we're talking about the people, I need to move to Cuba, because I feel like at the only place I will get a man. When I say I'm not hype, but me hype, because they feel real cute. like I'd be walking and I'm like, oh, that guy looks cute, like in my mind, and he's like, que linda, que bonita. I'm like, hey, that's me, yes. When I mean, I'm not exaggerate, like, we'd walk, and as soon as we walk past like a group of men, they'd turn back, look at me and go, que linda, they'd say something to their friends in Spanish that I don't know, but my stepmother would have tell me, or her sister would have tell me, like, they're like, yo, Chantal, we're invisible when you're around. Like, listen, you get checked out all the time. I'm like, yes, I'm a hot commodity. Look at me. Get me a Spanish honey. So I wanted to share, like, this personal story, which for me was literally the best part of my Cuba trip. So we're at San Jose Market, and it's literally just like a crafts market. There's food there. There's little souvenirs, there's a cambio, all of that, alcohol, anything you want there. And I'm looking for souvenirs to bring home for my friends and family. So I'm there and I'm like walking around looking, and I had on this black necklace, like a little choker, and it had a little bow at the front. And I was there and I was shopping from this man, and his daughter said to me, ay, que linda. And she said she liked my necklace, and I was just like, thanks, you want it? And she was like, para mí? And I was like, yeah, you want it? She's like, yeah. I take it off and I give her, and like, she's the most excited person because I give her legit my second-hand necklace. Like she was just like, thank you, gracias. So when I was walking away, she was like, mira. She tells me to come back, and she hands me like one of these little handmade beaded bracelets that her daddy sells, and she was like, gracias. She's like, and I was just like, oh my god, like it was like a little bartering. I don't know, it was the most beautiful experience I've ever had. Like, to give somebody something that I was already wearing was just like, well, I mean, that don't mean nothing, right? But she was so grateful and thankful that I gave her, that she felt the need to give me back something. I literally wore that bracelet the rest of my trip, the rest of my vacation, came back home to Jamaica, wore it till it mash up. My vex. All this time we stayed in Havana. Our apartment was in Old Havana. So we went to Vinales, and Vinales is basically the countryside, and it's the second most visited place in Cuba. So we drive to the countryside. It was like a 3-hour drive in a 1957 Chevy with no AC in the hot sun. It was hot. Like, I got so tanned from just the journey to Vinales, like, but it was worth it. The countryside was so gorgeous. It was just like a bunch of hills. There were like some historic twin hills there. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like people come from like all over to just see the special hump between those two mountains. So my father was adamant that he had to go and see Rumba before we left, and Rumba was only on Sundays. So our driver took us to Rumba, and the place where it was literally like an art place. Like, all the walls were painted, I guess in their cultural things. All the walls were painted. the decor there was like a bunch of repurposed things. So they were like bathtubs sawed in half and painted, so it looks like, so it was repurposed as seats. The place was gorgeous. There was so many different areas to look at. It was nice. And then we finally had Rumba, and the people came in and they did the dancing and the singing, and it was amazing. We see a bunch of people gathered and they're practicing Santeria. And Santeria is a religion. It's essentially Obia without all the negative connotations, or in my mind, without negative connotations. So Santeria, the people are there, they're playing music and they're giving praises in songs, and they're doing little dances, and it was so gorgeous. They're like, and they're flashing their long dresses, and it was so good. But what I wanted to point out was that for Santeria, in order for you to do that, you have to make a sacrifice. So like, there was like a giant tree behind where it was happening, and there was just like dead chickens all around it. Like, talk about culture. So that is it, guys. The story about that time I went to Cuba. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I really wanted to share the video with you guys. Cuba was such a rich experience for me, so I wanted to share it with you guys, even with all the technical difficulties. So I really hope that this story time was fun for you, that you liked this vlog. New format, right? So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next storytime / travel vlog. Bye, sweets. Hi, sweets. Did you enjoy that last video? Great, because I have a bunch of other videos like it uploaded on my channel. So check the link here, or here. And be sure to subscribe to my channel here. See you in my next upload. Bye.